On Standpoint, attention turns to a significant shift within Nigeria's security architecture. Following a change in leadership at the apex of the nation's police hierarchy, Olatunji Disu has assumed duty as Acting Inspector General of Police. The development comes at a critical time as Nigeria continues to grapple with evolving security challenges. But beyond the symbolism of transition, what does this appointment signal for policing strategy, institutional reform, and public trust? The conversation begins now. I am Precious Amayu. Welcome back. Leadership transitions within the Nigeria Police Force are never merely ceremonial. The Office of the Inspector General of Police sits at the nerve center of Nigeria's internal security framework with constitutional responsibilities that shape law enforcement priorities nationwide. Now, according to official communication from the presidency, the appointment of Olatunji Disu follows established procedures pending confirmation by the appropriate authorities. Olatunji Disu is not new to high-level operational command, having held strategic positions within the force, including assignments in intelligence and tactical operations. But this elevation now places him at the forefront of national policing at a time when calls for reform, modernization, and accountability remain prominent in public discourse. Can leadership transition translate into measurable reform on the ground? And what immediate priorities should define the first 100 days of the acting IGP's tenure? The questions we will be looking at when we return from this break. Stay with us, everyone. All right, thanks for staying with us, everyone. You're watching Standpoint. Well, whilst we wait for our guests to connect, let's just give you more details on the appointment of Olatunji Disu. He's now the acting Inspector General of Police. Pending confirmation by appropriate authorities. But let's just give you more updates now. President Bola Tinubu has decorated Olatunji Disu as the acting Inspector General of Police, charging him to restore public confidence, strengthen discipline, and lead reforms within the Nigeria Police Force. The president also commended the outgoing IGP, Kayode Egbetoku, for his service and contributions to national security. State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
At a time Nigeria grapples with banditry, terrorism, and other criminal threats, President Bola Tinubu hands over the leadership of the Nigeria Police Force to a new helmsman, Olatunji Disu. During the decoration ceremony at the presidential villa, President Bola Tinubu expressed confidence in Olatunji Disu's competence, citing his track record and years of service.
And now you assume this responsibility at a defining moment for our nation's security, and expect you to strengthen the discipline, enhance interagency collaboration, and restore public confidence in Nigerian police. Lead firmly but fairly, demand professionalism at every level, and ensure that safety of lives and property remains our highest priority. It's a daunting challenge. I know you can do it.
President Bola Tinubu described the appointment as coming at a critical moment, urging the new acting IGP to build on existing reforms and improve the system. He also paid tribute to the outgoing IGP, Kayode Egbetoku, for his dedication and leadership.
I extend the gratitude of the entire country, Nigeria. We are a grateful nation to you for our dedication in service, exhibition of good leadership, tribute within the force. You have served with commitment and extension. And Nigeria appreciates your contribution to maintaining law and order in our country. For decoration.
The new acting Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, described his appointment as both an honor and a challenge, pledging to prioritize professionalism, discipline, and public trust. Olatunji Disu also declared zero tolerance for corruption and impunity within the force, promising reforms anchored on human rights and accountability.
I will let them know that the area of impunity is over. I will ensure that I train them and encourage them to ensure they follow human rights. I will ensure that they know that I will try to follow a regime of zero tolerance to corruption. And most importantly, I'm going to drum it into them that we can never succeed without the cooperation of members of the public.
Outgoing Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun expressed confidence in his successor, describing Disu as experienced and well prepared for the task ahead.
I am happy that he's the one that is taking over from me, and my advice to him again is that he knows all those things we've been doing together, restructuring our intelligence coordination, improving interagency deployment model, dismantling several criminal syndicates. I'm sure he's going to continue to do that, and improving our intelligence response mechanisms.
As Olatunji Disu takes over the reins of the Nigerian police force, expectations remain high that his leadership will confront insecurity and reposition the force for greater efficiency and public trust. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, we have our guest now. Joining me to examine the broader implications of this development is corporate security consultant and public intellectual, Dr. Jonathan Onoja. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on your program.
Good afternoon. A lot of people have been, talk about this appointment, but for you, what do you make of it? Is this a square peg in a square hole, or perhaps it just doesn't fit at all for what we are facing now in the country?
I will kindly permit that you come again with your questions.
I was asking you what you make of the appointment of Olatunji Disu as the Acting Inspector General of Police.
All right, thank you. Once again, congratulations to the Acting Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu. He's a fine, gentle officer, and his experience in the past and also the positions he has held in the past, counting from Rivers State, Federal Capital Territory as a commissioner, and leading other departments in the Nigerian Police Force, including the RT, and all over 22 decades of his experience will not just go without getting the field understanding of what he's supposed to do as he climbs the seat of power now. He's someone that most Nigerians, even if you see from the social media, the widespread acceptance and approval from Nigerians shows that, yes, he's someone that has been committed to the job over the years. I believe even from his speech, like we just listened to, he's someone that is going to reposition the Nigerian police force, launder the image of the Nigerian police force, and first build the public trust, because that is most important in having a better Nigeria and a better Nigerian police force. I believe in his capacity to deliver as the Acting Inspector General of Police, and I have no doubt as well that he will become the Inspector General of Police, the confirmed Inspector General of Police, because there's no doubt that with all that he has done over the years, the Nigerian Senate is watching, other Nigerians are also watching, the international communities are also watching. They knows if he has any, cockroach in his cupboard, I think we would have begun to see, because Nigerians are used to that, we would have begun to see that kind of petitions and all of that. But we are not seeing that now. So let's give him the support and let's assure Nigerians that he will provide them their constitutional right, because Nigerians are entitled to living freely without being molested by bandits.
And that's where I really wanted to go next with you, Dr. Onoja, because again, you talked about the public trust, and that really has to do with reputation management. At the moment, I'm not sure, when you look at the reputation of the police, especially with Nigerians, if it is in a good place. And perhaps many will say that's the first place to start, as you have also mentioned, and that it can become a catalyst for dealing with every other challenge within the police force. I wanted to ask you what you think in terms of that reform, reputation management, because there is a conduct of the police, there is ability to deal with crime, and all of that. Where does he begin?
Yes, first and foremost, he must launder the image of the force by assuring Nigerians that the public will not be extorted, as we have seen in various cases. They will not be molested, maltreated, because the police are expected to protect Nigerians. But over time, with the stories we have seen from various quarters, you come to believe that the police are no longer your friends. First, they tell you that bail is free. Is bail free? That is first. That is where we're supposed to start from. Is bail free? Have they mandated every division, every outpost that collection of bail, monetizing of bail is a crime? How many police officers have been charged, have been prosecuted for monetizing the bail conditions of Nigerians? That's one. Number two, how effective has it been able to coordinate the intelligence and have a psyche of Nigerians about the police in their various communities? The police divisions in their various communities, the outposts in their various communities, has it gotten sample opinions? If this conversation is a call-in or the phone-in conversation, I tell you for free that if Nigerians are beginning to talk about the problems with the Nigerian police force, you wonder if the Nigerian police force are a separate individuals from other countries. And that's why I continue to advocate that the same Nigerians that we molested, we deal with in detention, are Nigerians, our brothers and our sisters, because every police officer is coming from a family, and these families are Nigerians. So I wonder, what is so difficult about understanding that we are one people, and if we must going to settle dispute or come again with curbing crime in our community, we should be true to it. Now, the issues of deficit of trust, how many Nigerians give information to police now? That's because of the lack of trust. They tell you that they don't believe in Nigerian police. What is the response mechanism of the Nigerian police? It's zero. When you call them in the times of emergency, what will you going to get from them? That is why over 70 persons, 100 persons will be kidnapped from communities. Take, for instance, the case of the Zamfara state, where over 70 persons were taken from their homes. And bandits operated for over 10 hours.
Dr. Nocha, I know that you're making a critical point. Apologies for butting, but I wanted to bring it our guest who just joined us now, even though we have about 3 minutes left in this conversation. A public affairs analyst, Yusuf Harun. Good to have you join us. I just wanted to, because in the 3 minutes that we have left, let me just ask you, because we're speaking to the Acting Inspector General of Police, his first task, and Dr. Nocha believes that should be reputation management and building public trust with Nigerians. One of the things we've seen recently is the inability, of the police to deal with prevailing civil crime in the country. To the end that we're now seeing the military stepping into matters that are not supposed to be military matters. I mean, how should he begin to, deal with that, build the capacity of the police to handle internal issues? You're muted. You will have to unmute yourself.
I said there's been a big controversy about the intelligence response team and the corruption within the police system. What I recommend strongly from the current Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, is that he should look into arresting corruption in the police force. There has been massive corruption, especially bribery, even on the streets. People have accused the police of compromise. Many people even feel that the police themselves are even the ones aiding and abetting the thieves or corrupt people in the society. So I think that there must be an adequate response. And I must commend Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has said that he has proposed that there should be state police. So if there is state police, there is also going to be devolution of powers, and we're not just going to have a central federal police, we're also going to have independent state police. So they can arrest crime rates, corruption, policing challenges in Nigeria, and also they can improve professional training, public visibility, and crime fighting record will be more transparent to the society. So I believe that Olatunji Disu has a big role to play. He has the experience, he has the strategic and the sagacity to make this achievable. So I believe this is a good move in the right direction.
And because I have a minute more, because you mentioned state police, not even up to a minute, but because you mentioned state police, a lot of people have said, look, previous IGPs were not into the idea of having state policing. First of all, because of the power, you know, some of them felt, look, it takes power out of their hands. Also talked about the abuse of state police by, you know, some governors. That's just they feel like that could be a potential. But again, it's a whole lot when you try to break down that structure. I'm wondering, you know, how we can handle that in a way that it has proper structure and not begin to look like some vigilante group or a group in a state.
Once the state police is being approved by the National Assembly, the president has proposed it. I believe it's going to help. Let us look at RRS. When Asiwaju Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State between 1999 and 2003, we had the Rapid Response Squad in Lagos State. Do you remember how terrible Lagos was? Those of us that lived in Lagos during that time. It was a crime scene. But Asiwaju Tinubu brought in the RRS, which is similar to the prototype of the state police he wants to introduce to the whole federation, Nigeria. So this stopped the crime rate in Lagos, and now Lagos, despite being one of the most populous states in Nigeria and Africa, and one of the most populous black nations in the world, it is relatively safe compared to other states in the north, in the southeast, in the south side and middle belt, where they even have less population. So state police has its merits, which is far more than the demerits. Also, there's going to be regulation. When you introduce state police, look at the Southwest as an example. This is a good template. We have the Egbetokun in the Southwest. Look at how they've been able to curb crime rates. So the benefits of state police far outweighs the demerits.
I want to bring in Dr. Onoja for his final word on this as well, just how to approach, you know, state police. It seems to be a priority for the president, Dr. Onoja. How should Olatunji Disu, the acting IGP, approach this?
Well, I agree with Mr. President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with the idea of state policing or state police. I also believe strongly that state police provides a very robust measures to curbing crime within the state. However, the current Nigerian police must first undergo some reforms before we can talk about state police. We talk about trainings of the current police. We talk about their activities. We talk about their conduct within the public. Those reforms, and I believe those reforms must be undergone. And I believe so much that the current IGP, acting IGP, Olatunji Disu, has already signaled commitment to these problems. However, I've often argued that regional security cannot become a solution to national insecurity. The states are already creating regional security, starting from the days of the
Dr. Onoja, I wish we had. I mean, you're making a critical point, and I just really wish, you know, we could talk about it, but my time is up, and we do have to go. We've been speaking with a corporate security consultant and public intellectual, Dr. Jonathan Onoja, as well as a public affairs analyst, Yusuf Harun. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on your program.
All right, that's Standpoint. Remember, you can watch a repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. tonight and 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. Thank you so much for watching. I am Precious Amayu.